Out of the 7 appointments in the trial that I got, I closed 5.
So, like, how much revenue in jobs have you closed so far? And how many jobs are in the pipeline that you closed in the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, so out of those 5 jobs, that pretty much averages to around close to $69,000 in revenue. And in terms of like the estimated gross profit, I was looking at around close to 27,000, more or less, if I'm looking at it from the top of my head. But yeah, that's kind of what it came from in those 2 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
If I were to keep going, like that is a good ROI, I would say. So it's been a good experience so far, and I'm looking forward to what the future brings.
When you started to run our appointments, like, tell the viewers how long it take when you paid us to start to get a first appointment, and then how was the quality?
For sure. I think after I paid and we officially did our onboarding, it's crazy because I would say 4 of them was in the 4 to 5 or in the first week, which was
Yeah.
like right after the onboarding. Like you said, 5 days it would take for the first lead to come. I saw that, got 4 appointments in that first week and closed 3 or 2 of those. I think I closed the majority of those, and then the following week I got like 2 more as well. So yeah, it's crazy how quick they've come in, and also just the quality. Like it's those closes I've had have been objectionless. Like I haven't had to handle objections for 30 minutes where I'm fighting with the customer. It's
Yeah.
been pretty much smooth where I drop a price and they're ready to go because they know that the roof has to get done. So that's been really good for me. It's really allowed me to start getting momentum with the business, and now I have an actual legitimate business because of these leads, because I have opportunities. So I still have deals that I have to get managed and get them installed on top of taking more sales appointments this week. So we're rocking and rolling.
Awesome, man. Okay. And how long you have been, started your own company?
So I started the foundations back in June of this year, June of 2025. End of July was when I started knocking doors. I was trying to generate leads that way. Through
Yeah.
that trial and error process, I decided to pay for a marketing company, which was my first one. And I paid like 1750 for 15 guaranteed appointments. Turns out this was a telemarketing company, was essentially using an AI robot to cold call people within the zip codes I presented them. And then they would book the appointment, and then I would show up, the homeowner wasn't there, or the roof was just, which was more times than not, the roof was in, all the roofs were in perfect condition, meaning not an urgent lead.
Yeah.
So that kind of led me to really reach out to you guys because I saw your ads.
Makes sense. And so, like, essentially, we'll say you bought appointments, right? It was 1750 for 15 appointments. So you bought them. It was not exclusively generated for you. So, like, the quality was not in the place. Like, what went wrong with that company?
One, first and foremost, just the organization, because I remember when I booked a call, it was for a Monday at 8 a.m. No one got on the Zoom call link. So that
Okay.
was a red flag that I should have listened to. Like the fact of the matter is they're not going to be able to show up to their own appointment is a red flag. So then I reached out to them and said, hey, no one showed up. And they scheduled me for the next day, gave me a good sales pitch and everything. And then after I paid, they went ghost for like a week. So then I reached out to them and they said it takes time. Then it's kind of like 3 weeks later, nothing, no appointments on my calendar. So I reached out and they were like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Kwame with Epic Exteriors. And they're like, we reached out to you last week. You're out in Virginia, right? I'm like, no, I'm not in Virginia. So that was another red flag. I'm like, okay, they don't even know who I am, but I had already paid at this point. Just calling everyone I had their number of in the company. I had to reach out to like 3 different people just to get a hold of them. So that's when I was like, okay, this is definitely not going to work.
So, from the time frame when you paid them, how long it took for you to get your first appointment with them?
I think it took about 3 weeks.
3 weeks till you paid them to get your first appointments.
Yep.
And then the first one that you showed up, how, like, the quality was, like, the roof was in perfect condition. It was not the quality that, like, people have intent to buy the roof, right?
It would, if I would have tried to close that deal and say, let's say if I did, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been able to sleep at night because I'd essentially be lying, saying that they need a new roof.
Right.
It would be pretty much a scam, you know what I mean? And I want to sell off of good ethics and have integrity, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that makes sense. And, like, what will you say someone who is want to try that system, or if someone will try our system? Like, what difference you felt when you started working with us, when you were starting with that company? Like, what was the change, maybe in the quality, or maybe in the way of our working, maybe the way we are doing marketing for you?
Great question. I think the difference is now that I've been doing and I've seen both, now I know a little bit more or understand a little bit more about marketing, even though I'm not a marketing guy at all. I
Yeah.
would say telemarketing and SMS outreach. I'm not saying that you can't get leads that way because technically I got leads. I got 15 leads, but they're outbound and it's random and they're calling random people. So maybe like with telemarketing, the quality and the urgency is just not going to be there off of luck, right? Is it going to be sustainable where you're getting high quality leads every single day? With advertiso, the thing is you're going to be known because of the way they set up your ads, right? You're going to be known, they're going to see you, they're going to see your face, that sort of thing, which provides some level of credibility and connection there. But also your leads are going to be inbound, so they're reaching out to you if they know that there's a level of urgency that they have to do it, because no one wants to spend a lot of money on a new roof.
What would you say if a contractor is willing to start with us, but they're thinking about joining our, advertiser scaling program, but they're on the fence, they're a little bit skeptical because of their past experience? Do you have something to say to them?
He absolutely is. Having a marketing agency that helps you is going to be beneficial, right? Like obviously you can knock on doors, right? But if you're in a climate like myself where it's going to snow in a couple of months, that's going to make it very hard to knock doors. So if you want, essentially someone who's going to put out some good ads for you so people can see who you are and create that connection with you, you want them to essentially click into a form or funnel, and then you have the, advertiser or marketing agency that's going to call the client, book the appointment, send that appointment to your calendar, provide you the reminders of those appointments the day of, and then send you clients that are urgent, like they have roofs that are actually leaking. So they're taking out essentially that entire department or process, so that all you have to do is focus on just going to the client, doing the inspection and closing. Then it makes sense to do this, right? Because they're taking out so much time from your day that you don't have to do it. And at the same time, at the end of the day, when it comes to business, everything's going to be risky. So at least take the risk and get into the plan and see if it works for you. If everything works well and the stars align, which they have for me and other people, you're going to see that the lead quality and the lead flow is going to be top tier. So you just have to kind of stick your foot out in the water and try.